So we talked about this a little bit last week, and we've now both Zach and I have seen all four episodes. To remind everyone, in the first episode, we meet a young boy, Jamie, who the police burst into his house and arrest him, and they tell his parents he's being charged with murder. We don't know anything about beyond that. There, he's taken to the police station. He's processed. We see all that happening in real time. It's a real time 1 hour take. The parents slowly get more and more information. They eventually get a solicitor or like a public defender to come and explain what's going on and what they do and don't need to do, and a little bit more about the case. And again, the details are very sparse. We don't really know. And then it turns out someone in the community has been murdered. A young girl that goes to the same school. That's kind of our setup, and then we get four episodes. The second episode follows our detectives at the school, interviewing people at the school, friends, people that knew both the victim and the suspect. The third episode is a one-on-one kind of conversation between Jamie and a psychiatrist, and I don't want to get into the fourth episode, but this has been a very powerful series that, like, the Prime Minister of England's been talking about this because it brings up a lot of issues about online bullying, social media, how we were raising children, how much you do and don't know about what your children are seeing online or what they're being influenced, and how much responsibility you do and don't have, or can and can't have it as a parent. Very powerful series created by Stephen Graham and Jack Thorne. So Zach, what are your thoughts now, having seen all four episodes?
So I think Adolescence is really good. It might even be a great television show. I think the best kind of true crime dramas are the ones that are couching like a really stern lesson or thought on morality or the musings of the world or humanity inside of some kind of case of violence, right, against one another, some kind of transgression. And Adolescence uses its case of violence or transgression like to talk about toxic masculinity and online internet culture, and specifically how that affects children in the age of the internet, at a time when everybody has a screen and nobody can truly monitor what everybody is doing, and no parent can truly always see or respond to how the child is acting. It's a conversation about how our public systems like policing and schooling are not necessarily a fix for this, and really maybe are behind the times and aren't able to keep up with how the internet is teaching kids in a way that parents don't understand, and how it's not always for certain. Also, it's never for sure that a kid is going to be violent because of what they've seen. Some kids come out totally normal. Some kids come out kind of sweet. Some kids might come out accused of something they haven't done. But Adolescence very quickly cuts to the quick of its crime and then moves past it to talk about the larger implications of how a child, how Jamie Miller can get to this place where the police believe he has done this thing and people around him aren't sure that he didn't do it. Some kid who in episode 1 seems so innocent, right? The first time you see him, he's literally in his bed holding his teddy bear. Like that's the first time you see the kid. And by the end of episode 3, you're scratching your head like, man, I don't know. There's a lot more to this than it seemed on its face, you know? And that's the conversation Adolescence is having, specifically around kids, hence the title. Like, it seems like it would just be a true crime drama on its face. I think it's a lot more, and it's so uniquely presented in its like 45-minute one take format stuff. It's all real one takes. None of those like hidden edits. Netflix has been very braggadocious about this. They did it all in one shot, and that's thanks to DP Matthew Lewis, the director of the show. I'll get his name in a second. He formerly produced a film called Boiling Point with Stephen Graham over in the UK. Did great. They adapted it into a series. It did really great over there as well. Big long takes. Now Adolescence is kind of the spiritual successor of that, at least in the way that they shot it. And that's what we have here.
Yeah, it reminds me a little bit of things like Mare of Easttown, which is an HBO show where Kate Winslet is also investigating a murder while, dealing with small town politics and issues, and it brings up a lot of social issues while investigating this crime. Adolescence is much less concerned with the crime itself and all the issues it raises about how we raise our sons, and particularly our sons. This is definitely the creator, Jack Thorne, said that this is about male rage. And that's what it's concerned about, because when we first meet Jamie, he's like this thick, thin, like 90-pound boy, and then it seems like everything's grossly inappropriate. Like, why are the like the SWAT team is here with guns in everyone's faces? Like, what are we doing? And then we learn more and more, and it seems like he very much is capable of having committed this crime, but we don't know for certain. It's a little ambiguous in a lot of ways. We see we have a lot of interesting characters. We have the police characters, played by Ashley Walters, D.I. Bascom, and his not sheriff, sergeant. They're working the case. They think they have their prime suspect. They need some more evidence to prove they got to talk to some people. The episode at the school is really interesting because it's just chaotic. Like they're going from classroom to classroom. They're not getting a lot of great participation. The girl's best friend, they try to talk to her. She doesn't want to talk to anyone. And she's like, "Why are you talking to me? I didn't kill anyone. Like, screw you. Like, you did." Like, and it's just that whole episode is so chaotic. And again, it highlights the difficulties of the public school system, how it falls short of most students' needs, but it's kind of the best we have. And that's kind of what it says for all of these systems. Like Zach was saying, the police system, the psychiatrist that's involved in this as well. All of this is reactionary, and it kind of shows us how difficult prevention can be in these kind of situations. Like, how do you monitor everything that your kids are watching? How do you know if they're struggling or dealing with bullying or are being the bullies? It can be very hard to know.
It's pretty incredible how well Adolescence is able to hold your attention. And the reason it's able to do that is because of its long take format. Like, it never cuts. We get the whole thing all the way through. It's mostly a cameraman with a steady cam walking around in front of him. And Matthew Lewis, the director of photography on the show, did a lot of talking about this. Did some reading before the podcast so I could fill you in. None of this was easy. The way they filmed Adolescence was aspiring to film 10 takes of each episode. That was the deal. They had about 5 or 10 shoot days, a couple days of run through and practice. Let's remember Owen Cooper, who plays Jamie Miller in the show's star, 13-year-old, has never acted in anything on film before. First time. So he didn't know any better. And they said that was an advantage. They were like, well, this is just how we're doing it, kid. It's like a stage play. And he was like, all right, cool. Just I'll figure it out as I go. Stephen Graham, of course, has done a lot of this. He's fantastic in the show as a father. But shooting every episode, they wanted to aim to do about 10 takes. And Netflix has a great Twitter thread where they talked about which takes they used of those 10, ones that got trashed. I mean, brutally so. They said the second episode in the school was like an absolute nightmare to shoot. There's tons of kids walking around, extras. You got to hide crew members back there because they have to be on to do something. You got to hand off to other camera guys, multiple video villages. There's an incredible drone shot in there that's complicated. Episode 3, meanwhile, is a lot tighter with just a few characters, and you have to shift focus from character to character and keep it interesting and keep your audience engaged. It's a whole lot of work, and I think the reason it works in Adolescence is because they reportedly started with scripts. Reportedly, they didn't intend for this to be a one-er series. It had kind of already started as this 4-episode thing, and then when they brought in Philip Barantini, the show's director, he had talked about, hey, what if we kind of did this? And they started workshopping it and tooling it and figured, well, what if we move this scene over here? What if we put this person down the hall from this person? What if we have the camera walk with them? And before you know it, you have these 4 big, long episodes. No shot lists here. Like, they just did it all together. It's crazy. It's wild that it works as well as it does, and it gets really emotionally affecting by the end, because if you can get into what Adolescence is doing in its presentation, you can fall for it. By 45 minutes into an episode, you're so locked in to what's happening because you have been with these characters the entire runtime. Like, they have gone nowhere else. There have been no cuts. They are acting fully out straight through it. And it's really sincere in a way that I didn't expect. It's heartbreaking in moments. It's tense. It's action-packed. Like, it's something else. There's some real energy in Netflix's Adolescence. And Netflix puts out a lot of content every year, but this is one of those ones it's like, oh boy, this is worth telling your friends about.
Yeah, I haven't watched a ton of TV stuff this year, but it's nice to have a surprise like this. And I feel like that's usually how the best media finds you. It's not the stuff that you're super hyped about. It's like something that you heard a little bit about. Like, I had heard this mentioned on a couple of podcasts, and then a friend of mine saw it and really recommended it to me. And I was blown away from the first episode. The first episode is all you need to get hooked on it, I think. And the rest of the episodes are excellent as well. I've also heard that particularly if you're a parent, I've heard it can be really affected. And even though I'm not, I thought it was still very, very engaging and captivating.
Yeah, same. First episode is shot out of a cannon. Like, I would absolutely recommend you at least check it out if you're at all interested. It's like 48 minutes. It's not that long. It's really incredible, and it's a really great like premiere of what's to come. While also reminding you, there's only 4 of these things. It's only 4 episodes. That's it. Like, you could technically watch them all in one day if you wanted. Like, no problem. You could watch them all in an evening if you wanted. Wouldn't recommend it. They're pretty heavy, but it's good stuff. Like, it's really cool. Adolescence is a really rad show. So I got to know, Andy, would you recommend Adolescence?
Yeah, I absolutely would. Like I said, it was a big surprise. It's a heavy subject matter. It deals with the death of a minor and the person who's accused of the murder, and deals with a lot of tough subjects about adolescence, about raising kids, about social media, about the communities we live in and the things we do and don't know about our kids. Incredible performances, particularly by Stephen Graham, who plays the father in the show, and also Owen Cooper as Jamie. Incredible technical display by everything being one shot. So highly recommend.
Same. Adolescence is really cool. There are only so many shows you can watch in a year for 4 episodes. Like, for the time investment required to get all the way through it, it's a no-brainer. Check it out. It's on Netflix right now. You don't have to have a premium account to watch it. I think you could watch it on anything. I do think this will get some Emmys attention later this year for limited series or miniseries. Like, keep an eye on it. Keep an eye on this space because I think Adolescence is doing something really special. Really cool show. Available on Netflix now. We got to talk about some upcoming trailers, Andy. What do we call this segment?
It's time for the trailer park.